as long as I'm enjoying it, you know, whether or not I make it, if I know that I've given 100%, then I don't have any regrets. And I think the worst thing would be to regret. I think that would be what I would consider a failure. Swimming actually not competitively until I was 9. So, but I was always in the water. Actually, my mom jokes that when she was pregnant with me, like she had to get a C-section because I was in a diving position. So she's like, "Oh, you're destined to be a swimmer." Well, to be honest, when I was like young, I didn't really think I could. I never really put it as like a profession or a career. I really wanted to see how much further I could push myself. So I went to UC Berkeley. I was in an environment where I was able to say, you know, these are my goals in swimming. I want to do this. And then people would hold me accountable to that. Honestly, the biggest answer would be yes, myself. I'm very self-critical. But I think instead of thinking of it as like a outcome, like a performance, I think about it as like a journey. So I felt like there was a lot more work done. I think actually more on the mental aspect of it. You know, the physical training, it's always there and you can always keep pushing, but to really feel like you belong, you know, on that stage. And so that's what I've been working on the past 2 years, what I'm going to keep working on the next 2 years. I think where, you know, you don't get like a, I'm off work. It's like you're on 24/7. That everything you do in some way has to feed back into or relate back to your training. So from waking up, you know, how much sleep you get, what you're eating. And then there's the actual training itself, which is technically the working hours. I believe in having a balance and that I can also do other things and I'm also interested in other things. Yeah, because now I'm an Olympian, there's a little bit of this like connotation or a title or a label associated with it that, you know, we're like, we can do anything. But the thing is that, you know, we're like everyone else, we have these struggles. Maybe they look different because I was still a little bit scared, you know, what if I don't make it again? And I think now, instead of being scared of what will happen, I think that as long as I'm enjoying it, you know, whether or not I make it, if I know that I've given 100%, then I don't have any regrets. And I think the worst thing would be to regret. I think that would be what I would consider a failure, not making the team.
So what are the things that she has to do in order to be where she is right now? And about visualization, trusting the process.
Apart from the physical pain of the training, I think something that I wouldn't say pain, but maybe some frustrations would be when you know that you've put in the work, you know that you've really done everything that you can possibly think of, and then you get up to race and it's not translating. Personal feeling like I can't give any more than I already am, but I'm not getting any better. And it's really hard to think of it in a bigger perspective. I think sometimes athletes want results now. And so it's taught me a lot about patience and to trust like the whole journey and the process, and that things take time. It's not always, you know, right when you want it. I was in a team where all our coaches were women, you know, we were all a women's team. And I think from there I had this strong, like, you know, passion for women empowerment, women in sports. And then bringing that to Asia, or thinking of me in an Asian context, given that I represent Hong Kong. I think what we talked about earlier, that people are different. They all have their unique journeys. And I think it can go a long way to just, if people are expressing what they go through, then other people can connect. Maybe not the exact same experience, but the feeling of that experience. Yeah, so I think with swimming, we've done a lot of visualization, that kind of exercises. It's a little bit more specific to the swimming race. Like you visualize, you know, diving off the block, how you feel, you know, like really specific details, and like you visualize yourself winning, or, you know, whatever it is, the outcome that you want. And I think I've taken that same kind of process, but a little bit long term, because that's just for a specific moment. And I think for me, I instead of, I mean, it still happens. Like I still have those days where I'm like, oh, I'm terrible, I'm never gonna make it. You know, today is just not one of those days. But I think I have an image of what I want. Like, you know, I would love to go to the Olympics. I think because I know a little bit, I have a little bit more information to make it more realistic. And so it's, even though that's the end goal, I kind of see the process. I've done it myself, you know. You know, I want something, and I visualize, right? And I say like, it would be so cool if I do this, if it would be so cool if I did that. But you have to break it down, like the baby steps. So it's like, it's maybe have a conversation with someone, you know, talk to your peer. You say, what do you think? Like, do you think I'm in a good spot? Like, what can I improve on? I think once you make that initial step, then it really helps. It's funny because you always think something is going to go a certain way, and then you remember why you do sports, because like anything can happen, and everything that you kind of prepared for, it just like doesn't really happen the way that you wanted it. I had done a lot of like mental preparation beforehand that really helped. We're hoping it was one of the top 3 teams so that we would get a medal. And then when Korea disqualified, we were like really happy, but also, you know, not too happy. But it still wasn't updating. And then I was like, oh, watch out, maybe we disqualified. And then we got second, which was like really, really great. Just to end on a high note. Personally, it was like the confidence booster, like the motivation that I needed to tell me like, you're on the right track. Like you're not right where you want to be, but you're going in the right direction.
Having role models in life is very important. Having mentors guiding you through your way when you're kind of confused or lost. Even a professional athlete like Camille, she needs mentors. She needs someone that guide her.
I don't think I have one role model. I think I like to think that every person that I'm like close with has, I learn something from them and I'm inspired by them in some way. But I think definitely like my younger sisters, I didn't have as much, I think when I was younger, was that role model figure in the swimming sense. I mean, when I was growing up, Natalie Coughlin, who I ended up actually swimming with her at Cal, which was also really weird, like, oh my God, I watched you on TV and now we're swimming in the same lane.